Hey, Facebook and YouTube fam. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm so happy that y'all are here. I'm going to give a few seconds for you to get the notification that we are live. Hey, power people. I just want to have a conversation about what happens when in your development you're not properly nourished, and how we often talk about and quote the scripture and the message that says the sins of the father fall on the heads of his sons for generations, all that kind of stuff. That conversation happens a lot. But I want to just bring to our awareness what happens when the sins of the mother go unaddressed, right? I have done a lot of work throughout the years, and I've even created a class that people have taken and gotten breakthroughs in around healing the mother wound. What I used to do is have people come to my home for my monthly womb meditation class. And this is back in the day. Y'all know we had a headquarters now. But literally, I would say bring your mother or bring your daughter or bring your grandmother. Bring the matriarchal figure in your life. And part of the reason that was so important, it is because the matriarchal figure, that maternal person that played a key role in your life, shaped and molded what you think your worth and your values are. Even the scientific research backs all of this. When a baby is born, the moment they look into their mother's eyes, it begins to teach them about regulating their emotions. A baby learns the sound. It doesn't matter who else is in the birth room, they are looking for the voice, the connection that they have established for 9 months in that womb, right? And so, yes, the role of the mother, and some cultural traditions, they say your first example of God is your mother. When you are growing up, it is your mother, ideally, who feeds you, clothes you, nurtures you, affirms you. Or in scenarios where mom is not well, you are being programmed for neglect, abandonment, servitude. So this becomes an important dialogue. So I just want to give some energy to it, and tell you some of the tools and resources that I have available to help you be able to really, really, really reset the programming that is in your matriarchal bloodline. When a person is too obsessed with achievement and they're constantly living in a I got something to prove and somebody to prove it to energy, I can inevitably, and I've been doing this work this August to make 14 years, I can inevitably trace a mother wound. Absolutely. Somewhere in your development, you needed something from your mother you didn't get. Sometimes that's intentional because mama wasn't whole enough to give you what you needed. Sometimes she just didn't know what she didn't know. But the result lands in the same spot, which is I was in need of something that I needed to shape and mold my identity correctly, and I didn't get it. And when I was in therapy, what was helpful was learning how to reparent myself. So put in the comments, I am my mother now. I am my father now. Everything that little me may still need, to feel at peace, I can give that to myself, right? But the reality is, when you become a parent, there is no manual. And the patterns that we put in our children, they put in their children, and they put in their children, right? So when we talk about generational healing work, the first step to changing anything is awareness. And what we don't recognize, we won't put in that effort to even change. The fact of the matter is, for whatever reason, whether it was trauma or not, if your mother did not know how to or refused to give you what you needed to feel properly nourished and nurtured, it has had an impact on your self-concept. And this is important because everything about your life, every outcome in your life right now, here and right now, is a reflection of your self-concept. It's a reflection of your thoughts, your choices, and your actions. Well, who taught you what to think? Who taught you the value system you use to make choices? Who taught you how to behave? Well, who raised you? Who raised you, and how did they raise you? And how has their blind spots affected you? I'm anointed to get to the root of the matter because I really do show women that you have the power to heal everything. And one of the resources that I'm going to release this year, and I'm going to tell y'all about that in a second, is also for men to heal their mother wound. Because when I first started doing my work with the womb sauna, I talk to women. That's my primary assignment, but it reaches the men as well. And I've been blessed to be invited into men's sacred spaces and support other men in taking care of the men and helping them heal. But I didn't say the mother only teaches the daughters their worth and value system. The mother teaches all children. And I think some of what we saw these past few years with the gender wars and all of that kind of stuff is a reflection of the mother wound in our men. All right. And just because they may not vocalize it doesn't mean that the wound is not there. So even for any of the men that follow the movement and tap in and are listening and connected to my work, I hear your heart. I hear the little boy who, especially if your mom did not have the support of your father and was the primary parent in raising you. That in and of itself tells me a little bit about your wounding and how it has played out in your shaping of your self-concept. Because single mothers have a certain bandwidth and they tend to run out of everything that a child needs in their development because the family structure was never designed to sit on the shoulders of one person. Right? So it does make a difference across the board, whether it is the daughter or the son or whomever, where there is a performative energy. You think you got to perform for God for your blessings. You think you got to perform for love to have the love life you want. You think you got to perform with your body to have a lifestyle of pleasure and the power of pleasure. You think you got to perform for mentors and coaches so that you can get to your 9-figure income making. And you think you got to perform in your social circles just to try to keep friends so you don't get lonely. Where there is a pattern of being performative to establish your worth and value, there was a gap in your nurturing as you were developing in those formative critical years. And sometimes it's not directly connected to your mother's not having the skill to nurture and nourish. Sometimes you could have been bullied, and maybe the way your family responded to that was not sufficient. Sometimes you've been violated and maybe didn't have the language to share, didn't feel safe enough to share, right? So these types of things, even if our mothers had the capacity and bandwidth to help us through that, life is not black and white. There are many shades of gray. And so it happens, things happen. My interest is centering you on full recovery from whatever makes you think you can't have what you desire in your life. And I like to help people transition from waiting on life or waiting on an apology or waiting for something outside of you and outside of your control to give you peace. I always tell people there's nobody standing on the corner handing out peace. If you need peace, it's in your best interest to learn how to create it. Put create peace in the comments. It's in your best interest to learn how to create peace because nobody is obligated to participate in your recovery. And as much as I'm grateful for the love and support and kindness that people hold for me, I have incredible relationships in my life. It took me years to learn who I am personally and professionally compatible with. But now that I have mastered it, I actually am experiencing the fruit of very healthy, honest, authentic relationships across the board. But it took me a minute to figure that out because I had to heal my mother wound. I had to heal that maternal stuff. There are things I inherited in my mother's womb before I even made my landing on earth. So I understand the layers of this. And what I'm saying to you is, as a woman who is satisfied with my life, I know how to teach and encourage and help you create peace for yourself and closure. But it starts with a decision. Healing starts with a decision, and you can't make a decision on things you're not even paying attention to or aware of. So there's some deeper diving, that I do around this. And with this particular teaching, it is very experiential. Y'all gonna hear my phone ring in the background. I forgot to turn it off. But that's my ain't I. So hold on one second. It's gonna stop ringing. Zariel. I'm gonna have my daughter bring it to me so I can turn my ringtone off. I forgot to turn off. Can you get my phone out of my purse for me, please? I forgot to turn my ringer off. Yeah. I didn't say my whole purse. I said just the phone and the purse. Oh. It's all good. Thank you.
Hi, people.
That's my baby. Thanks, darling. That's my boo. So yeah. Okay, let me turn this off. All right. So, like I was saying, healing starts with a decision, but you can't make a decision based upon things you're not even paying attention to, aren't aware of. So with the Heal Your Mother Wound teaching, I like to make it very experiential. What I find is most people have not had the necessary conversations with themselves, their mothers or maternal figures, their grandmothers, aunties, whoever was that matriarchal figure in your life. A lot of people just are not having the conversation about how I experienced you. Sometimes they feel like, oh, it's old information. So do I really need to get into all of that? It's the past. What can we do about it now? It's not about when it happened. It's about the energy management. And once you make a commitment to be a good steward of your energy and you create a lifestyle where every day you're sensitive to what is shaping and molding how you move through your day, you no longer are comfortable letting things linger and be swept under the rug. You actually realize that has a real vibrational impact on my capacity to live my dream. So if my dream is joy and I just want to live in joy and peace and calm, but every time my mama sends me a text message or every time I hear my cousin talking about her relationship with my mama, and I don't have that relationship with my mama, and I don't understand. Like, let's not pretend we're okay about things we're actually not okay. Let's get the necessary skill set, because as soon as somebody tries to love you at a deeper level, there's certain things that are going to trigger and fire. As soon as somebody tries to bless you in a way that doesn't require anything from you, all of a sudden some am I even worthy, some imposter syndrome, and some of that kind of stuff is going to pop up, because you have not dealt with, felt with, and acquired a skill set to flush out certain things. Yes, I love that you're saying your mom transitioned in 2013 and you speak to her in the spirit realm. That's a real thing. My father transitioned when I was one. But you can't tell me he does not walk with me. So there's work on different levels that can be done. And for the students who've come to my Heal Your Mother Wound healing circle that I do, it's in person. So you gotta come and experience this. Um, if they're not able to bring their mother or their daughters, because I do the multi-generational, I like to cover like at least 3 generations forward and backwards. Um, but a lot of students were like, my mom has transitioned, so they will bring an item or a picture or something that symbolizes their mother to the class. So yeah, so I just feel like, Mother's Day is coming in a couple weeks. It can be an exciting season for a lot of people. Sometimes it can be sensitive because it can reveal and pull up things that are unresolved. And because of who I am and how I love my people, I'm like, all right, let me position myself to really have a resource and a tool. So on Saturday, May 17th, I have created a container. It is a picnic. We're gonna have a good time. So here in Maryland, there's this beautiful garden. It's actually my favorite garden. It's so significant, and it's been such a beautiful space for me to recalibrate things throughout the years. But it's Brookside Gardens in Wheaton, Maryland. And if you are familiar, then you know how beautiful and why it's my favorite garden. My favorite garden out of all of them is the rose garden. It has these stairs that come down, and you can smell the roses in the air as you get out the car. It's beautiful. There's water, there's old trees, grass, sun. It's just the perfect environment to clear some things in your matriarchal bloodline and reset some patterns. And I believe in leveraging what God has given. I believe in using sun, earth, air, water as tools. Those tools are some of the most easiest tools to use because you don't have to program them. Some of the other stuff I see people work with, it's like you got to build up so much of your ashe, so much of your energy to put into that tool. And then you got to keep it stored. You got to keep your energy stored in that stuff. I just use what God made. For me, what God has made is enough. God has made the sun, the air, the water, the trees, the earth. I'm good with it. So on the 17th from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., everybody bring your blankets, your yoga mats, whatever makes you feel comfortable being out in this beautiful environment. I'm going to have a picnic pavilion where you can sit down and eat if you don't want to sit on the ground. I'm the type of girl, I love earthing. I just pull out a blanket and lay out on the grass under the sun for hours. That's just what I enjoy. But there is a shaded area for those of you who may want to eat your lunch. And so you bring your lunch, you come, you mingle, you bring your mom, your grandma, your daughters. For the men, if you got unresolved things with your baby mama, bring them. Yeah, we're gonna do the maternal healing work. Bring your mama, your grandmama, your daughters, right? Your sons. We gotta heal the mother wound. It is the actions, the thoughts, and the choices of the mother that shape and mold all children's self-concept around their worth and their value. The behaviors, the thoughts and the choices of the mother absolutely impact how we perceive what we have available to us. Was mama real strict? Was mama spoiling you and giving too much? Was there balance in giving and receiving? The divine feminine, the signature of the divine feminine is receiving. It is. Even our anatomy tells us that. Um, and so a lot of people who have difficulty and abandonment wounds and they have difficulty receiving, there's some maternal clearing there that we need to do. And so when you arrive at 1, we mingle, we have our lunch at about 2:30. That's when we just gonna ground in our healing circle. And I'm going to help facilitate, because you brought your moms, your grandmas, all the people. I'm going to help facilitate the necessary conversation in a very safe, sacred, memorable way. The last time I did this was years ago. People are still feeding off of that moment and still talking about how powerful it was for their family. I am invested in bringing y'all together, putting you in a beautiful environment, and helping you learn that it's okay. No matter what happened before that moment, in that moment, we're going to make it all okay. And we're going to move forward and create peace. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. So that's May 17th. Please, please, please go to thewombsauna.com/events. There's early registration if you lock in before the 10th. I want to get a concrete head count so I know how much energy I need to store up and cultivate. And there's some other nice things I want to do to really make this a memorable and beautiful experience for us. So the sooner you give me a yes and let me know if y'all need this, the better. Yes, I'm in Maryland. Yeah, so this is going to be in Wheaton, Maryland at Brookside Gardens. And the Womb Sauna is headquartered in Maryland. Our company is international. Our brand is represented in 17 different countries. But we're headquartered. Our corporate office is headquartered in Maryland, in Riverdale, Maryland. So grab your friends, grab your homies, grab your homegirls. Say, listen, we got to go to this picnic. I want it to be a vibe. I don't want it to be like stuffy and snotting and crying the whole time. That's not, I am at a stage in my work where leaning into the pain and pedestalizing it is no longer useful for the people. I've seen that, and I've seen what it leaves undone. Love is so much more powerful than pain. So I invoke love, and I teach people how to receive it fully, and it changes their lives. And it begins to make the pain in the past irrelevant in the context of what you are foreseeing for your future and what you actually need to have peace. You can't simultaneously pedestalize the pain and say, but I want peace. You're going to have to choose. Once you choose peace, then you have to create it. The same way, if I decide I want to make a pie today, I'm going to have to get the ingredients and whip it all up. That's the difference between manifesting and alchemizing. I'm in the phase of my life where I have mastered manifesting. I'm a masterful alchemist. I like to lean into my God nature and the gifts God has given me to be able to live my best life. And I'm no longer intimidated by things that hurt me, disappointed me, traumatized me. You're not going to meet a human being on the planet that doesn't have trauma. Even being born on earth and coming through the birth canal is traumatic. So the expectation to have a life where you just aren't going to have anything to work on, this is earth, and earth is ghetto. And so, you come here to master yourself, to know yourself and be yourself, to embody, right? And you have to make a series of decisions in order to do that. So my intention is for us to catch this vibe. I want the brothers to come and heal their mother wound. I want the women to come. I want the children to come. It is by design that I'm having it at a garden, a botanical garden. Let the kids run around, be in the sun, have fun, see the family working on their healing together collectively. Let them be a part of this defining moment where they get to see that, yes, even though we may got some stuff in our family like everybody does, we are still family. We still love each other, and we're choosing to move forward. We're choosing to let it go. We're choosing to heal this, and you got to see it in real time. So bring the babies, bring everybody, bring your picnic items, whatever you want to eat, snack on throughout the day. And after we do the healing circle, really the rest of the time is for you to just enjoy the moment, enjoy each other, enjoy the space. If you want to stay a while, you can. The garden doesn't close until sunset. So once the sun sets, that's when they tend to be like, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get out of here. But it's going to be a vibe. And I would love to see as many people there as possible. So it is called Her Healing, My Healing, the Heal Your Mother Wound Picnic. All right. And to register and lock in the early registration, you go to thewombsauna.com/events, and you will see right there on our page how to register for this event. I hope you can come. If you got to come from out of town, there are, of course, the Airbnbs. You can always get one of those. But in Wheaton, Maryland, there's some nice hotels, and you can probably get some good rates on Expedia, or check Groupon too. Groupon has deals on hotel stays as well. So if you're coming from out of the state or out of the country, because we do have an international following, then plan to come and have this moment, turn it into, and I intentionally put it the weekend after Mother's Day, because whatever came up for you, if anything, around Mother's Day, I want to help you anchor it in joy. So that's why it's the Saturday following Mother's Day. Okay. So yeah, can't wait to see y'all there. There are consequences of not being nurtured and getting what you need. And a lot of us just live with that instead of transform it, transmute it. And I honestly believe that's just a learning curve, because you don't know what you don't know. And it's hard to recognize what you can't see. And that's why being in community life becomes an advantage, because people who love and care about you will see your blind spots and offer a perspective and mirror back to you things you won't even recognize about yourself. I would not be the woman I am today without my tribe. And tribe life is the advantage for that very reason, because I know that I don't see it all the time. And my sisters and my brothers and, my husbands, they all know I can see things about them that they may not recognize about themselves. And when you have secure attachment, with people, it's safe enough to go through the process of learning and transforming yourself with witnesses, versus trying to live in your bubble because you're so afraid of being seen or recognized for your imperfections that you think it's safer on your own. And a lot of the women that have sat on my pot for a womb sauna experience, they learn that behavior through their mother wound. It is through the mother wound that they have learned unhealthy socializing, especially if they was raised by mothers like, I don't get along with women, I can't get along with people, and then they also simultaneously witness the exhaustion of their mother because she was not tapped in, tuned in, and plugged into healthy community life. And so now you normalize doing so much on your own, and it feels weird, it feels unnatural to have people do things for you. I enjoy recognizing the love and strength of other people in my life. I didn't always. Ultra independence is a trauma response. There was a time in my life where it did not feel safe at all to let people really know me because I hadn't fully even accepted me. And I had some real trifling people that passed through my life who knew that that was my tender spot and exploited it. And some of the forms of exploiting that was talking about me behind my back, being two-faced, having a plan for my business, my brand, and my gifts that they did not articulate, and tried to use my success to swap my destiny with theirs. And so, like, I've been through some real stuff. So I'm not trying to minimize the process or what you've experienced. I'm just trying to give you an opportunity to clear the energy and replace it with more joy and more peace, more calm, more clarity. So bring your mama, bring your daughters, bring your grandchildren. It's a family affair. It is, though. Come on, let's go ahead and show what it actually looks like to heal your mother wound, to have the necessary conversations, and to start creating some better memories than the one you keep recycling. Do you know neuroscientists have found that we only remember things with 50% accuracy? So that thing that happened 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 3 years ago, you keep recycling the narrative, and whatever narrative you push to the front, you got to live. So at some point, you decide to heal. You decide. It's a decision. And sometimes it starts as a decision long before it's an emotion. And because you keep choosing to be at peace, and you keep choosing to be complete, you keep choosing to move forward, it creates a new rhythm and a new psychological and emotional habit. And then your body says, oh, that's what we're doing. Well, we don't need that inflammation anymore. We don't need that stiffness in your neck and in your back and in your pelvis. Oh, we are forgiving mama. Oh, okay. Mama is forgiving herself. Oh, okay. We're doing something different in the body because the body is obedient to your consciousness, your program that you run, the narrative that you have created for your life. That's what your body follows. So I hope to see y'all Saturday, May 17th. Go ahead and lock in, get your registration in. Tell your friends, bring the homies, make it a family affair. We're going to picnic, we're going to have a good time. We're going to have fun creating this new imprint in your matriarchal bloodline. We're going to create a new imprint. We're going to say, nope, in this family, as for me and my family, me and my house, we forgive each other and we move forward and we create peace. That's what we're going to do on May 17th. So I can't wait to see y'all there. Enjoy your weekend. I'm going to continue to offer some conversations as we get closer to the date so I can make sure y'all are fully prepared and activated in the intention of it so that we're coming in at a very high vibration. So make sure you have the notifications turned on. Make sure you are in my group, Let the Wound Be Heard, on Facebook. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure that you have subscribed to the channel and you have your notifications on so you don't miss any of the additional conversations that are coming over the next week to prepare you for the event. Love y'all. Peace.